like everything that he was, talking about there. So just like you said, the back and forth is a little weird. Let's just silence it and let's get the fight going.
100%. And like you said, the other fight that was really good too, and the chief support, Elisa Baumgartner retains her title.
That was a good fight, man.
Yeah. And she won unanimously 117, 110 times 2, 118, 109. She's the real deal, man.
First 3 rounds, she was in trouble. I think the Canadian was giving it to her and winning most of those exchanges. But as soon as she connected flush, Alicia Baumgartner, I think she just took over the rest of the fight there. More conditioned, higher level athlete. I think that's kind of what stole the fight there.
100%. So, and by the way, we called it. Anderson Silva at 50 years old.
That's insane.
Gets it done and not just unanimous decision, knocks out former UFC champion Tyron.
What a sad end to a career. I think he's done, but that's
it has to be
7 losses in a row, and all of them were knockouts. So I mean, that was very sad to just see that.
Would it have gone different if it was our boy Chris Weidman?
No, I think Anderson Silva still were good because I did take Woodley. Remember, I took a chance taking the plus money, but the value wasn't there looking back at it. And Anderson Silva at 50 years old, that shows that he was a better fighter overall, even if they went prime for prime. If he's doing that in a 10-year age gap difference right now to Tyron Woodley, if they were, like I said, to fight in their quote unquote prime v prime, yeah, bro's winning.
By the way, did you catch the Misfits thing?
Yeah. It was kind of a hard watch. I hate to say.
I'm not gonna lie. The biggest story was, and I'm so happy, and I stand corrected. Hand up, I was wrong. It was so good to see Tony Ferguson get undisputed for the first time.
Another time, man. It's great seeing him win there. He's got a home in Misfits box. He'd be the Misfits king. I mean, that fits his persona so well. Hold on, brother. I'm winning championships in Misfits box.
Yeah, it was a hard watch, the main event, if I'm going to be honest. I got it wrong. Shout out Chase Demore. He won.
That would have been some plus. It would have been the weekend the fade, Jake Paul. And Andy.
Yeah. But other than that, kid, it was a great weekend, and we got some fights that were announced as well. Yeah. Some really fun fights for UFC 326. RDR makes his return against Khalil Bahayo March 7th. Thoughts on the return for RDR and getting Khalil Bahayo as his return fight?
Seeing the flaw in RDR, right? The gas tank, right? A little bit. Yeah. Maybe Khalil Bahayo could take advantage of it. We know he has a motor, right? He's able to go. So I think you could see how proficient Bahayo could be on the mat, because I think RDR now is going to want to get these fights to the ground and use the path of least resistance, which would be his grappling. I think his jiu-jitsu is still sublime, some of the best in the division. So let's see if he can get it there. But Khalil Bahayo's strategy, I think she should keep it standing, wear him out, and try to win the fight there. But we could see a clash of styles on that.
Yeah, that should be the main event. Obviously, the headlining that UFC 326 card March 6th is Max Holloway taking on Charles Oliveira. Can you guess the line?
For those two?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I think they'll give Max the favor. Oh, how big? Maybe even I hate to say it. Maybe 1 minus 155.
I'll say this, Joe. You've been much better at predicting the odds. Yeah. Minus 180 Max Holloway, plus
I was gonna say
Charles Oliveira.
75. I was gonna say minus 175, and I was like, that's a little steep. I think they got to give Oliveira maybe a little bit more benefit of the doubt, but
line seems accurate though.
Yeah, BMF champ, younger. I think they fought the first time and he won. That's where that Oliveira kind of changed, turn a corner in his career after the esophageal injury. I think it was against Max Holloway. So, before that he was known to kind of quit when the going got tough, and in that situation you didn't know how severe an injury was to him against Max Holloway. But we know Charles Oliveira to be the illuminated one. Let's see if he could beat the blessed one.
Another fight that got announced, which I think is a really fun fight, Renato Moicano taking on Brian Ortega, T-City. That should be on the main card as well. Thoughts on that one? Moving up now, Brian Ortega.
Yeah, but I think I might be off the train now. I think I might be off the
Really?
T-City train. Who's he up against? You said it was
Hanato Moicano.
Moicano might just, take him to school. You know what I'm saying? But
Really?
yeah, I mean, in terms of maybe the the economy and
no, definitely he's gonna school him educational wise.
Educationally, he's gonna give him some books to read. But I'd say whose jiu-jitsu is better. I think Moicano does play those type of mind games. And T-City making his way to a new weight class, I feel like he's had a up and down career. And I've always liked Brian Ortega. I just feel like maybe he's been his own harshest critic at time, maybe not believing in himself the most, right? I guess there's some tough losses built into that as why, but now you're going up to 155. I think Hanato Moicano is not an easy fight, so maybe easy money. Maybe easy money. We'll see.
That's exactly what he's gonna say. Easy money. Should be a really
Brian
fun
Ortega, easy money.
And we got Paulo Costa making his return. I know after that vintage Paulo Costa win last time out, he's now gonna take on Bruno Ferreira.
Yeah,
that's a tough
favors. Yeah. I think the Hulk might have something to say.
Really,
the eraser could do it, man. Like, dude, Borrachinha is fun. He might be kind of rejuvenated, and here's a chance to prove it. I think we see Fajeda kind of on a little streak, but he has been finished before. So let's see if Costa can maybe get on the finish streak and get a finish under his belt at this part of his career.
100%. And honestly, one of the most not shocking, but it was definitely an interesting move. The UFC has decided to part ways with Renat Fakhretdinov. His contract
he won like 6-0-1, right?
Since 2022, he just came off a knockout in 54 seconds back in September, and they decide to part ways. Why do you think that is?
Maybe there's some like performance enhancement. We've been seeing a lot of the Dagestan camp, Russian camp, the PED use starting to spring up, flare up. Maybe there's something. Maybe there was. I would hate for them to have swept it under the rug, but maybe they know something we don't, and it'll get released later. But or they, like I said, they just said we'll part ways and we won't release the news so that he can get picked up by another organization, but he won't be having an unfair advantage against other fighters. Or the very controversial, if you look though at the 5-0-1, I know he just came off the finish, but I think a couple split decisions in the draw, right? So maybe it could be part of the performance base, but I don't see. He was a fun matchup for some guys in the division.
And one of our favorite fighters in the PFL, we got some really bad news coming out of Dakota Ditcheva's camp. She will be sidelined much of 2021, where she was sidelined. She's going to begin the year the same. They didn't disclose. It is a leg injury, they said, though, but 15-0. She had to withdraw from her fight against Denise Kellerholtz, 8-5 on February 7th. So we don't know the nature of the injury, so we don't know what's going to happen. But she's 27. She's gone the distance only twice in her career, with 12 of her pro wins coming via knockout. It's a tough blow for the PFL in that February Abu Dhabi card.
I'm a little worried
about the injury or the promotion.
The promotion. Because that's like the horse right there. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
is she the face of the PFL?
I do think she is, bro.
Wow.
Like she's that big of a star. I don't think there's many women that are touching her. That's why you can carry. You look what the UFC did with Ronda Rousey. They put a jetpack to her and sent her off in her space.
Yeah,
PFL's really got that in Dakota Ditcheva. So, yeah, I think I'm just worried for the promotion and what they're going to do, because
that's fair.
I don't know whether they're coming or going. That means if they're going to stay as an actual promotion, or if it's what kind of event are we doing? Tournaments again? We went from $1 million to $500,000 in terms of the money that you win. So I mean, all signs are pointing that there's less money there, and it's getting lower and lower that their ability to make events and everything. So
I mean, this card is terrible. I'm looking at it right now. Headlined by Usman Nurmagomedov taking on Phil Davis.
Oh, you mean Alfie Davis?
Alfie Davis, excuse me. That's the for the lightweight world title at 155.
There's good fights to be made, but it's like, what's kind of, like I said, your cash cow, right? I think people are seeing her as a star, and
she is a star. She
yeah,
can't miss.
She can't miss, and it's like when we get those big name fights, the fights that we kind of have high level aspirations for, they fall through or something weird happens, and it just makes the PFL look bad. But there's no denying when you get Dakota Ditchev in there, she's just getting an absolute finish. That it's what you're seeing is the truth. So yeah, I think that's why I said there's a little disparity between the two.
Very much. All right, kid. Well, that's what we got. Let's get into these awards. But before we do that, a quick word from our sponsor. We're brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf with the boys or an elderberry watching AKP Award Show, it really doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with our Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at Axe Kick Picks and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to it. 2025 MMA Awards, AKP MMA.
We normally dress up, but it's the holiday weekend. I mean,
I'm away.
Yeah, you're in Florida right now. How was Disney World, by the way?
It was magical. It's the greatest place in the world.
It's the most magical place on earth, right?
It was great. Honestly, my girlfriend's the best. She surprised me, and I had no idea. She goes, "We're gonna go to the biggest Waffle House ever," and I go, and she knows I love Waffle House. So I go,
yeah, Waffle House is good.
I'm like, and she's only like 5 minutes from a Waffle House, and I'm sitting there like, we're not going, and then I'm starting to see Mickey and Minnie signs. I'm like, okay, where are we going? And I went to Universal, and then I went to Magic Kingdom, and then oh my god, it was the best fireworks. We saw the show at night. It was great. The only thing that was closed was the Buzz Lightyear thing, but other than that, bro, it was amazing.
Wait, you mean Universal? You mean like you went to Epcot?
No, so Universal's like
the whole different studios.
Yeah. So
you went there and then you went to
No. So let me clarify. The first time ever coming to Florida with her, she took me to Universal, which is like Marvel Studios, Jurassic,
Harry Potter.
Yes, exactly. And then this time we went to Magic Kingdom, which is all like Aladdin, Peter. Yeah, it's all Disney.
Everything we grew up on.
Oh, and it was amazing, bro. It was great.
Yeah, man.
And little key, if you're gonna go there, invest in the lightning lanes. You do not want to wait 80 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's good to experience it, but like that's definitely for the kids. But I think I would like to go there, like
100%
just to check it out. Yeah, I've never been.
No, it's magical, honestly. I felt like a little kid, like everything was coming back. Food, you're not going there for the food.
I bet there's some places though. They probably can hit up one place or another.
Maybe. All right, okay, let's go. And honestly, we could start any way you want.
I'll pick it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The honor is yours. It's all yours.
Let's start then. And I'm going to throw a curveball at you. Let's go fight of the year. Now, this one was a hard one for me.
Yeah.
Because I had a few that I really liked.
The Sadikov and Mata stands out, right?
Yeah, yes. But there was one that kept coming back to me. Joshua Van, Brandon Royval back at UFC 317. I mean, what a dog fight that was. I stood up watching the fight. I stood up afterwards and I was like, just give these guys 50,000. They deserved it. I'll say this though. I almost picked, and it was honorable mention. I had to put it note. Yuri with the comeback win against Khalil Roundtree at 320.
I might have a little something on that in a little bit.
All right, what is your fight of the year?
I was torn. I think you may have seen two arguably like highest level of technical prowess with two of Merab's four fights this calendar year. Going back to, I was up in air between this one, the going back to the Umar Nurmagomedov fight, because how technical it was and what he had to do to defeat Umar. But then going into what Peter Yan had to do at UFC 323. So I did wind up choosing that fight to be fight of the year. I thought that fight was so high level. What Merab was doing to everybody else in that division, the level he put out there to make Merab rise to the occasion, right? So I felt like in terms of a technical fight, I think that was the highest level technical fight that you could possibly get, and you got to credit Merab for bringing the most out of all these fighters.
Yeah, no, that was such a high level fight. Now it wasn't like obviously a knockout or anything. Nicholas Mata definitely that was third, and
it's a banger. Yeah,
and honestly, bro, even the Umar fight in Merab, I thought was really good too.
Really good, high level.
Jinx.
Yes, that's what I was going towards. I was going towards what was like the most high level fights that I've seen, and that Umar fight against Merab was a banger, low key.
It was
and
an
what they were,
banger.
like everything that was going on out there was just technical. And you knew even after the fourth weight cut this year, Merab was going to bring that relentless pressure and technical ability. Peter Yan had to outskill him in everything, and he did so. So that to me just was fight of the year.
Let's talk about Merab. He is my male fighter of the year. Going 3-1, 3 title defenses, and you can't blame the guy for going for greatness. You know, losing a few weeks back, but he's beat Umar Nurmagomedov, Corey Sandhagen, choked out Sean O'Malley, like made him. He submitted him. What he was able to do was just. So it doesn't take anything away. Even though he lost, it doesn't take away from the incredible year that he had. He started it beating Umar back in January. He then shut out Sean O'Malley, submission back in June. Then he outclassed in like a clinic against Corey Sandhagen. And, you know, I feel like, and we talked about it, I feel like he was just a little burnt out. And give Petr Yan credit. He made the proper adjustments after their first meeting, but he had an audacious 4-fight year in an era. It's rare to see a champion do that or even fight twice a year. You got to give him other honorable mentions. Islam. I almost thought about giving it to Joshua Van as well.
Right.
Alex Pereira has to be up there, but yeah, it's Merab, Islam, and Joshua for me.
I said that, you know, looking at it, like, yeah, Merab, he probably deserved it, but you know, I did have that take that you were against a little, that he definitely deserves this award, but I faded him because he put it all on the line, and I'm glad we're still talking about that fight because that was a big fight to me in the terms of the bantamweight historic that the division has been, getting that fight. And I could have chose Merab, but I did choose Islam. I think getting him to tie now Anderson Silva's consecutive win streak in the UFC record, I think that means a lot for the organization. I mean, we got him now fighting twice a year again, right? With the finish of Hinato and now then beating Jack Della Maddalena, which was no joke. He had to do what he had to do to get that victory. So, yeah, I think that's a big deal, the record that he tied, and you can go into 2026 looking to break it. So, yeah, of course, easily, I agree with you. And your award, Merab could have gotten this, no hands down, could have deserved it. But I did give it to Islam.
Yeah, and that's fair. He was second. I think there's a clear argument to be made for Islam and what he's been able to accomplish. So, and he's pound for pound the best fighter in the world.
Yeah, he had to still fight Moicano on short notice. That was 100%. No easy task. He you know, it was a big opportunity for Moicano, but he's been accepting these short notice fights. He's been doing it for the organization.
Yeah,
and it's been nonstop winning. And
you can't fault him for that.
No, double champ. He's the only one, right, to get it. So yeah, let's talk about, you know, they're not really trying to do that anymore. We might not see this for a while.
Let's go to female fighter of the year, and I mean, this one was kind of easy. It was Valentina Shevchenko. I mean, yes, only 2-0, but two of the most dominant performances of the year, beating Mana Fia earlier in the year, and then just being Weili Zhang the way she did was. It was unbelievable, if I'm being honest. You know, she went winless back in 2023. She only made one appearance in 2024. Then to come back in 2025 and do what she did in Canada against the Beast, Fior. You know, like and
French Canada.
Yeah, and Fior beat every opponent before
dominantly
and since 2029. And then to come in and go against a first ballot Hall of Famer in the Bullet, you know, you and I say it a lot. There are levels, and she and then to top the year,
she got dominated, 100%.
And then to top the year, she dominated a former strawweight champion in Zhang Weili in November. And honestly, it never looked competitive. So nothing short of excellence from Shevchenko. She's 11-2-1 in the UFC in title matches. That is title matches.
Yeah, Joe. Title matches alone, man.
That is insane.
Yeah.
She is on top. I thought there was a case for Kayla Harrison, but it has to go to the Bullet.
And I agree. But you didn't mention one other name, and if not now, because I see easily the one who Valentina Shevchenko beat, Zhang Weili, coming back down and reclaiming her throne, possibly with ease. But if not now, when are we going to crown Mackenzie Dern Female Fighter of the Year? I think she deserves it, right? 2 fights this year, both victories, becoming a champion, even though, like you said, it was only due to Weili Zhang moving up and attempting history that she got her opportunity. But I think if not now, when? Because like I said, we're going to get Mackenzie Dern against Weili Zhang, and I am favoring Weili Zhang in that. So it's going to be hard to crown Mackenzie Dern Female Fighter of the Year. I think she had a career year. The UFC promoted her very well, and she done her part. So I'm going to give her the nod in this one. So maybe I'm playing sympathy, or, you got the 2 guarantees that I thought, and a lot of the other, our constituents, the MMA coverage, different podcasts, articles being written, pretty much have where you're aligned in. And I just had to go a little step further, deeper, and just say, hey, maybe these guys deserved it too.
A little on Mackenzie Dern later for me. But I did not expect that. That's a very good curveball, and hell of a year. I mean, claiming undisputed gold, and people have counted Mackenzie Dern out her whole career. Oh, she's a jiu-jitsu. She could.
That's what I'm saying, though. I'm biased towards my grapplers in jiu-jitsu. She has now put on for the jiu-jitsu community, and
100%.
She became champion, and I think she's carrying the weight of years of lineage and jiu-jitsu history with her.
Totally fair. All right, kid, let's go to the next one. Knockout of the year. I'll let you go.
Because I think you kind of mentioned this first.
Okay.
Yeah, I like how you had the arguable about the fight of the year, right? What you said, Jiri Prochazka and Khalil Roundtree.
Mm-hmm.
I know there was a bunch of knockouts that were spectacular. The spinning attacks, the elbows in 2 in 1 night, the spinning heel kick of Bobby Green getting knocked out by Mauricio Huffy. I mean, that we all stood up out of our seats at B-dubs for that one. But I just think the unexpected, we saw Khalil Roundtree dominate the first 2 rounds. And going into that third, I was pretty damn confident that our bet was going to hit because we had him. But you can never deny BJP. Let's go for that. Jiri Prochazka's UFC 320 third round KO of Khalil Roundtree was spectacular, and I think knockout of the year.
Yeah, that was on my list as well. I also liked Pereira. He knocked out and reclaiming gold, and our boy Magomed Ankalaev. That was huge.
Yeah.
Even Malcolm Wellmaker versus Chris Moutinho or whatever his name is in round 1. That was big.
Crazy.
Ilia Topuria knocking out Oliveira in round 1. Second, Prates knocking out Jeff Neal in round 1. That was huge. But you mentioned mine. Marsucio Ruffy spinning wheel kick against King Green in UFC 313. I mean, what a fucking knockout. That was a spinning kick KO in round. I still think about this one, and I was like, I didn't even think he grazed him, but the slow motion behind the ear hit him so hard, and obviously we're fans of King Green, and we didn't like that, but man, you just gotta. I stood up and clapped. You have to respect it. Yeah. I do want to give shine to this promotion. Sergio Pettis as well with his spinning elbow versus Magomedov.
Oh, and then the follow-up shot after.
Bro, that was like Champion Series 2. Give Sergio Pettis some flowers because he deserves that.
That was a vicious knockout, dude. Yeah. That follow-up shot, like you said, Dan Henderson to Mike Bisping, Derek Lewis to what's his name, Curtis Blades, vicious follow-up shot.
Let's stay on that and let's go to submission of the year.
I want to hear yours first on this one.
Yeah, because there was a lot. Obviously, another promotion I want to give shine to, and I picked them, But Costella Van Steers submitting Johnny Eblin in round 5. That definitely deserves some credit here.
Yeah.
In this fight, Walter Walker submitting Louis Serdlin in round 1.
Yeah, since you mentioned it, that's what I chose. I chose that as my submission of the year to secure 4 consecutive heel hooks in that fashion. I think just puts the cherry on the top of what he already laid as the foundation. He's going into 2026 looking to make it 5 in a row. And I know it might be away from a while, but yeah, I had to go and choose that just because of the history of it. So it was amazing to see.
We could even say Sean O'Malley getting choked out, I think, is one of them. But the one that I took, Lord Silva, ninja choke against Bryce Mitchell back at UFC 314. I mean, it was insane. Ninja choke is sick. You are very high level if you're doing that in the UFC.
Yeah, and he choked him out unconscious.
Yeah, he went night. So yeah, that's my submission of the year. I thought that was a really cool one as well. Yeah. But I like to give shine because there's so many throughout the year that it's hard to just pick one. What about breakout star? And I think you could go a few different ways with this one or a few different fighters. But
it's pretty obvious.
Oh, okay.
What were you gonna say? I was gonna say you got breakout star. I said it's pretty obvious.
I did Joshua Van.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Yeah, he tore through 2025. I mean,
4 fights just like Merab and won all 4 though. Yeah, and became champ.
Flyweight title and beating obviously Pantoja suffering that injury in the opening seconds sucks, but he was excellent. I mean, opening up that fight against Tsusura or Rene Tsusura, he demolished Bruno Silva. And then he got a KO as well, but and nothing compares to it was my fight of the year. It was him against Royval, and it set him up for that title opportunity as well. So yeah, he has to be the breakout star.
Josh Van's breakout star of the year, bro. This second youngest champion as well ever, next to John Jones. Man, John Jones, looking back at that's gonna be hard to break because look what it takes to get to that championship level. Josh Van's been through the fire, so there's no other choice for me. I think it was obvious.
I was in the building the last time he lost in 2024 in Denver. He got knocked out by Charles Johnson.
Yeah, that was crazy. And we didn't expect it. He won those first 2 rounds pretty convincingly. He was on top, and then boom.
Well, I was on Charles Johnson money line.
I know you were.
Last time I faded him.
I think I did too. I think I hit him 3rd round KO, TKO too, man. Actually, I can't believe out of all the times we looked at Josh Van's fights, we backed him. We saw that was a trap fight.
Yeah, that was a bad spot for him. And you know who I almost put, if I'm being honest, I put him on my Michael Morales. I put him as my breakout. But Van winning the title, I think puts him over the top. Yeah, absolutely. It has to. Yeah. What about the upset of the year?
And it's just funny, we aligned in this breakout star, and if we're who we say we are with a gambling podcast centered around mixed martial arts, I think we have to go with what was the most historic upset in UFC history besides what we saw a couple years ago between the women. But Mahani Barcelo's upset over Peyton Talbot takes the cake, in my opinion. Do we align?
That was up there. I mean, that was up there for me. We just saw it a few weeks back, and you alluded to it. Your fight of the year. It had to be Piotr Jan taking on Merab and defeating him. Wow. He was anywhere from a plus 330 to a plus 350 underdog. It was ridiculous. I mean, the adjustments that he made from the first fight a few years back, and just outclassing Merab, who was on the trajectory of becoming one of the greatest ever, is nothing short of amazing, and it's upset of the year.
I could argue, though, that there was a bigger upset on that same exact card with Josh Van upsetting Pantoja. So I just said in terms of the odds. Yes. Yeah, but, like I said, based off our show and everything, I saw that being so much money for us to make. And obviously, looking back at it, I don't think we took Barcelos, but those that did and backed the OG made some good money on that, and you got to live by that if we are who we say we are, which is AKP.
Let's go to event of the year. I thought that one was really interesting as well, and I'm going to go back to a fight that was headline in the lightweight division where Ilia Topuria knocked out Charles Oliveira in UFC 313. We get the co-main event, which Alex Pantoja submitted Kaikar of France in the 3rd round.
Yeah,
we got the fight of the year in Joshua Van and Brennan Royval. We get Benny Dariush submitting Hanato Moicano. Peyton Talbot on the rebound after that Hersani Marcellus fight, beating Felipe Lima, who is a dog. What a main card that was.
Yeah, bro. I like that one. There was a 314, am I correct? Was a good one, right? It might have been 314. 317 was pretty solid. I mean, there was a bunch of good. I went with 320. I thought that Alex Pereira getting that main event and getting his revenge there, I think like maybe it was an awesome card prior, but I think that might be one of the bigger like headlines as well for the year. I mean, it was also spectacular. You got your girl Veronica Hardy getting a win on that card. You know what I'm saying? Brahmiraj with the also arguable submission of the year, getting that guillotine going to get Austin Vanderford. I mean, great couple good fights. Shabazian put on a show. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a good fight. Joe Pyfer there with a submission. Remember, we saw the submissions prior to the Yuri Prohaska 3rd round comeback KO TKO. Remember, that was on this card too. So, I mean, Merab also defended his belt against Corey. So, I thought that was a good thing. And like I said, it all came down to really seeing Alex Pereira get that and just throwing emojis up again. I think it's memorable, and I think it's my event of the year, UFC 320.
You know what was a really big one for me too? UFC 314, headlined by Volkanovski and Diego Lopez. That was a fight night. Then you had
Patty Pimblin on that.
Yeah, Patty Pimblin knocked out Michael Chandler. Yeah. You had Yair Rodriguez taking on Pitbull. Yeah, the Ninja Toe. Dominic Reyes knocked out Nikita Krylov in round 1. Everyone's thinking he's back. Yeah. Jen Jaroba, she wins and gets herself a title fight. Yep. So
I was debating that. I was.
Yeah, so I thought 314 was really good as well.
Yeah. Who was yours again? UFC
317.
317. Yeah, like I think those were the top 3, really. 320, 317, 314.
And then we're going to end it with most improved fighter of the year. And you
sprung this up on me last minute.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, because I looked back at our show last year and I said, you know what? We had this. I forgot to mention it to you. So I figured we run this one back. And honestly, you mentioned the fight. I had two. I have a man and a female.
Me too.
Man, it has to be Peyton Talbot. From what he did, losing to Hersani Barcelos, coming back, and then being able to stuff all those takedowns from Henry Cejudo. I mean, you just have to tip your cap, and the level and dedication that Peyton Talbot has, phenomenal. And I think he is a superstar, and I think he's going to be eventually a champion in the division. So I had to give it to Peyton Talbot for the male.
I like that a lot, man.
And for female, it's your female fighter of the year. It is Mackenzie Dern.
I like that.
So from losing, coming back, winning 2 in a row, and she's always been around a win or so, getting to that title fight. And say what you want, it might be fluky, her getting a title shot, but she sees the opportunity.
Yes, she did.
And she went out there and she did the unthinkable.
She looked good while doing it too. She won that pretty decisively. I think there was a couple of moments that Vern had, but she looked good throughout.
Yeah, she kept her own, and you know, her being ADC champion and now a UFC champion.
The stand up, how much it's come. It's come a long way for Mackenzie.
She came into the promotion and people thought, oh, she was just gonna.
She couldn't throw hands. She couldn't box, really, to be honest with you, when she first joined. She was
who's her striking coach?
Jason Perillo.
Jason Perillo.
He
goes a long way.
Absolutely.
So I had to give it to those two. Who are yours?
Yeah, bro. And I'm with your female fighter of the year, actually, for my most improved, because like you said, coming off of not even having a victory in one of those years to getting only one fight last year, Valentina Shevchenko goes on to sweep Manafiro, who we saw dominate the rest of the division. So she just shows she's light years ahead of it, and then proves her weight class pound for pound prowess as the pound for pound queen by beating Weili Zhang. So yeah, Valentina Shevchenko, I think, has brought her prime right back. We saw that she might be dwindling out in the twilight of her career, but she brings back her prime. And so I think, like we're saying, her most improved year this year is bringing her back to her very best, even close to 40. It's amazing to see.
It's amazing. Yeah.
And then Peter Yan, I got to give it to him. Yeah, because like we said, Merab getting fight of the year to bring the level of the bantamweight division up to this, I think is probably one of the highest levels in all of mixed martial arts, because you mix in the speed and the talent and the skill it takes to fight there. Yeah, Peter Yan had to step up and surpass all that. And yeah, you can argue maybe a couple of things here. Fighting 4 times as easy, the weight cuts and this and that. Merab was still bringing it, like we said, with the techno capability. He still had a couple moments in that fight, so he wasn't, a dying dog ready to get killed. It was Peter Yan having to rise to the opportunity, and we can thank and credit Merab for doing so. So yeah, most improved fighter is going to be in the male division, Peter Yan.
Yeah, I can't fault you for that. I love it, Joe. That's going to do it. Do you have any more?
No, I think that was fantastic, man. Yeah, I think we covered everything.
Job.
I think it was a great year again for mixed martial arts as a whole.
And it's just going to get better.
The UFC dominated a little bit, though. I think in years prior, we saw some good other choices from other promotions, but you could see the UFC pulling over some talent and seeing that they do prove that they're the highest level of mixed martial arts.
I cannot wait to see the Paramount era.
Yeah, man. Yeah, let's see what goes on. And not going to break the bank. ESPN was fleecing us, right? We saw over $1,600 a year just to be a fan. Not only were you paying for the subscription, but you had to pay for each event. Paramount's giving it all for a yearly subscription of $59.99.
Fleecing us. They're for the people. Yeah. By the way, we are exactly a month away from the UFC returning in UFC 324, Patty Pillman versus Justin Gaethje. But we'll be back each and every week. We got some boxing. We'll talk about Inoue does fight this weekend. So if you want to turn into that, it's a little chalky. That's why we didn't touch it. But I figured I'd mention it off the top or on the back end of the show. We'll be back. There's WWE going on still. Yeah. There's
we'll have probably next episode. We'll do like a little recap of our records and then
we'll do
probably
that. And we have our future show coming up.
I was gonna say futures. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to get that together so that we can see because maybe that's what we could do. Like next time, we could recap our.
I gotta see if odds are out. But if they're not out,
that's why they might not be out yet. So if next week we do our recap of our year records and then recap how our futures did, because I think we slightly did that, but not completely.
Yeah, not completely. That's on me. I still haven't gotten my
no, that's all right. But I know we hit a couple futures you gave me. Of the end of the year champions, and I think we could talk about how we did as a whole and like our units and what kind of records we're looking at. So I think we can definitely make do before we get to the futures and for the rest of the year, because it's going to be fun in 2026.
100%. It's going to be an amazing 2026. We will see you next year. Next time we come back, it will be 2026. It will be January 2nd. So make sure you guys are tuned in. Have a great New Year's Eve. Be safe. Do not drink and drive. Be careful. Spend it with your loved ones. And like the good Jerry Springer said, take care of yourself and each other.